We're Group 1, and we're doing biosecure transaction. I'm Thomas Koff. This is Deanna Walters, Frank Shaw, Cameron Fortner, and Andrew Ford. That line of what we're doing, we're talking about the need for the project itself, the objective, the biometric backgrounds and modalities, the system users, and the design for the system. Well, what we're doing is biosecure transaction. It's a credit card system that will handle, they'll use biometric information to verify the users. And the reason we're doing this is because for just the US alone, these statistics, in 2008 there was $500 million lost to credit card fraud. 221 billion were lost in identity theft alone, and around 10 million people were victims of identity theft in 2008. So the reason we're doing this is so that we can make these transactions more secure with biometrics, and we're going to use different levels of security, and it'll help decrease possible fraud through like physical transactions, not online.
Our main objective is, like Pop said, to secure everyday financial transactions. So this is like if you go to your grocery store and you get your groceries for the week. Right now, you can just sign your name as a line if you want, and your mom's name if you want. But with this, you won't be able to do that because of the biometrics we are going to use for authentication. So first, you have the physical presence of your card, and you will also be required to enter your PIN just like you are today. But then we are going to add the biometrics where you have face recognition, signature recognition, and if one of those two fails, the fingerprint recognition. This graph shows the increasing security level with the different modalities we have. So right now you have, or you could have something that you know. This could be your PIN number or a password to log on to your email. Something that you know and something that you have could be a PIN number and then the card itself. Or you can have just the card and just the biometrics, which is this level, but our system lies in this top level, which is the most secure because we have something that you know, which is your PIN number, something you have, which is your smart card, and something that you are, which are your biometrics. Those are things that can't change, and they also are physical and behavioral, and our physical traits are the face and the fingerprint, and behavioral would be your signature.
Now, when looking at characteristics of biometrics, you want to find biometric modalities that are high in most of these criteria here, where universality, where everyone has it, everyone has fingerprints, everyone signs their name in a relatively unique way. It's permanent. Unless you burn off your fingerprints, you're not going to lose those. Or collectability is that it can be measured quantitatively. Performance is that it has a high accuracy. You want your biometric modality to be accepted by most people, and you also want a biometric modality that cannot easily be spoofed by a faulty user in the system. For our modalities, we're going to use dynamic signature recognition, which it turns the pen strokes into, it measures pressure, speed, it measures like where the pen is on the signature pad at what time, and it compares those. Face recognition, it uses geometric measurements on your face, like the distance between your eyes, the distance between your nose and your mouth, the distance between your eyes and your mouth, or between your ears. And then we'll also use fingerprint recognition, which measures minutia points, which it also measures whether you have the loop, arch, or anything else. And we chose to use multiple biometrics because it increases performance and the reliability of the system.
Okay, there's two actors affiliated with our system. The first one is the administrator, and one of the functions that the administrator will perform is enrollment. So when the user comes in to get set up for their account, they'll have to enter all their general information, such as name, address, phone number, and some of their account information. Also, there will be they'll have to set up templates for the biometric recognition. So each, for the face, fingerprint and the signature. They'll run 3 times and we'll create a template off of those 3 data sets. Also during the enrollment process, we'll have to issue a smart card, so it can be start the process and it can open up a linkage to their account. And also they'll create a PIN, and that'll be encrypted, and all data that'll be saved in the database will be only accessed by an administrator through username, password, and fingerprint recognition. Some other things the administrator can do is modify and delete users and user accounts. For instance, if a user fails 3 consecutive times during a transaction process, their account becomes locked, and the administrator would have to go into that user's account and remove the suspension when they seem that it's appropriate. Another thing the administrator can do is modify a user's account. For say, if a user becomes injured and can't perform one of the 2 modalities, they can come in and make a change to where they automatically use fingerprint, not as an alternative, but one is to replace one of the other 2. And the final functionality of administrator is they can go to the access point and modify settings as needed. A user is the second actor in our system. Of course, under supervision, they'll be affiliated with the enrollment process. And then, but mostly during the everyday transaction process, they'll begin the transaction by scanning their card,